Well, folks, it's now been about a week since the Arnprior train show, and I have to say, looking back, I think it was probably one of the best train shows I've ever been to. It was just amazing being there in the environment with a whole bunch of the other train people here on YouTube, and just hanging out and looking at all the vendors and scenery. It was just an incredible show, and it's one that I'm definitely going to remember. Anyways, before I begin showing you guys what I got there, I just want to start by thanking Go VR Go Home, who very generously gave me all these parts for the Hershey Factory project. Look at all the stuff. We got windows, doors, it's just great. So go check out his channel, because that was very generous of him. Anyways, beginning with the video, I'm going to start with the cheapest stuff, and then I'm going to work my way up to the bigger stuff, because I got some pretty cool deals and some kind of random stuff, but I'll explain all of it, because I want to show it to you guys. And the first thing I got was this box of matches. I'm going to guess these are 60s, 70s era, maybe, Canadian National matches, and the reason I say that is because I suspect these are from when they had their passenger service, which ended at some point in the 70s, I believe. So these would be from that era. And one thing which I suppose kind of makes these matches interesting is that they're not being made anymore. So every time somebody burns one of these matches, they become rarer and rarer and rarer. And some may argue this is defacing history, but my logic is that, you know, are you going to use a box of matches for their intended purpose, or are you not going to use a box of matches for their intended purpose? And in my case, I just have to say, yeah, I am going to use the box of matches for their intended purpose. I'm kidding. I'm not burning these. So yeah, I bought two possibly 1960s era boxes of Canadian National matches. One is obviously sealed and the other's open, so you can see they're actually in there, and you can see that's basically a full box. And these are only $1 each, so I thought, hey, that's a pretty cool deal, and they'll make some kind of interesting relics around the layout. So yeah, I thought that was a very cool deal. The second thing I bought is something that may seem very random, and, well, it is pretty random if I'm honest, but it means a lot to me, and I'll explain why. This is a book about locomotives, different locomotives around the world, and kind of the history of locomotives. Now, the thing about this book that really means a lot to me is, back when I was a kid, there are 3 things that I think might have gotten me into trains. One of them was the train that ran up here in the Gatineau area, the HCW train. The other was obviously Thomas the Train, as it was for many other train lovers out there. But the third was this book. We had a copy of this exact book. And I remember going through this book countless times and just looking at all the different photos. And one day, sometime in 2010, I don't know when, but it just disappeared spontaneously and we never found it again. I have no clue where it went. But it's gone. So anyways, I was at the train show and I was walking around. Again, I haven't seen this book for like basically 8 years, possibly longer. And I recognized the cover immediately and I was like, oh my god, it's the same book. And he was selling it for $7, I bargained him down to $5. So I've got my book back, and yeah, I'm not the biggest book guy, but this is just something I wasn't gonna pass up. I mean, who knows? But that's something that I thought was very special. Anyways, on to some kind of more interesting stuff. You see that right there? That's brass. I was walking around the train show, and Auto and Model Railfan was with me, and we were just looking around, and he's like, I think I found something you might be interested in. So I was like, oh, I wonder what that would be. We went up to this guy's stand, and he had this Milwaukee Road Hiawatha car, made out of brass. This thing is beautiful, and he was selling it for 40 Canadian dollars, which is pretty expensive, but considering this thing is made out of brass, and it's in mint condition, and I think it will look perfect with the Hiawatha, I wasn't going to pass this one up. So yeah, there it is. It doesn't have any windows installed, but it's just a beautiful piece, and I'm really happy with it. So that was it's something. I don't buy a lot of rolling stock, you know, but it's just something that's very cool. So yeah, that was a great find. Thank you, Auto Model Railfan, actually. These are all Athearn blue boxes. One of these I picked up for a song. They're all locomotives. I think this is the one I picked up real cheap. Let's open it up and find out if it is. I'll tell you guys if it is. Nope, that's not it. I think it's this one. Nope, that's not it either. This great big Canadian National locomotive. We found it at a vendor who was, I think it's a hobby shop that had kind of like I guess a satellite store set up there. And we found this there, and all the stuff at his stand was quite high priced, so anyways, I was not expecting this thing to be cheap, but it didn't have a price tag on it, so I asked the guy, how much do you want for this locomotive? Because it's obviously really broken up. He said 15 bucks, and I was like, no way. So, yeah, I basically walked away with a partially assembled Athearn blue box. Might be a Canadian National -9. I'm no expert on locomotive types, as you might have seen in Mark's video, and as I confess all the time in my live streams. But I wasn't going to pass this thing up. It was like a great big Athearn blue box locomotive, and the parts are all in there. I just need to put it all together. So I thought that that was an amazing deal, and I can't wait to make a video about assembling this thing, because we might walk away with a fantastic locomotive, and it also came with all these extra parts. So really, I thought it was a great deal, and yeah, you can't really go wrong with an old Athearn. Even if the motor's shot on this thing, I'm sure I can replace it. They're quite kind of interchangeable. The second one I bought is actually basically identical to the other one, except this one's more assembled. This one I believe was being sold for 50 bucks. I bargained it down to 40, which for an engine of its size is a pretty good deal. It's also modern. It requires some assembly, but I thought that that was a good deal. And the woman selling it was so nice. I always ask if they work, because I find that can sometimes be a good bargaining tool. If they don't know how they're working, you can kind of negotiate down the price. She didn't know, but she's like, yeah, go find someone to run it. I've got a piece of track. But I just said, yeah, it's fine. I got 40 for it. I'm happy. So yeah, that was the second engine. So we got two of those, and now the next one is very similar, but it is not the same railroad. Got a great big Canadian Pacific one. I assume this is a cross-border paint scheme, because you got the Canadian-US scheme, just like I am. And yeah, this I just thought was a very cool engine as well. I already have one kind of similar to it. I don't know, but we can run those in a set. And it's also an Athearn, so this one's also going to require some assembly. But just like the other one, this one was being sold for 50 Canadian dollars, and I bargained it down to 40. So those were my 3 buys, basically, that I bargained. Well, I bargained the 2 high-priced ones down, and I got the other one for a song. So that I thought was very cool. I love these Athearn blue boxes. I mean, they just run and run and run and run. So I thought that that was very cool. Alright, so we've gone through just about everything, but I have one thing that you guys I think are going to absolutely love. I was shocked that I found this. It was just, a vintage Tyco train set, a Tyco Manoa train set. Isn't this cool? Check this out. Whole train set, locomotive, rolling stock, the track's in here. It's got the pamphlets, like basically everything's in here, in the original wiring. It's all in here. The only thing that was missing was a controller, but I picked that up. So we have an entire vintage train set. So I'm definitely gonna have to make a video of running this thing, because I think it's just, you know, just really, really cool, and I really kind of can't wait to assemble it all and see how it all works. Honestly, I don't know. It's an old set. It was probably made in the 60s, but Tyco Manoas are usually pretty tough, so I suspect we shouldn't have too many problems with it. Anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I had such a blast at the Arnprior train show this year, and it was so nice being able to see all the people out there. Go VR, go home, Auto Model Rail Fan, M&M Rails, Dick the Train Nerd, and so many others. So, that was great. Hopefully we can do it all again next year. Thanks for watching, everyone.